Assalamu alaikum. Our today's topic is the epithelium. So we'll discuss the characteristics of the epithelium, what is epithelium, various functions of the epithelial tissue, and then what is the classification and histological features and photomicrographs of each variety of the epithelium with examples. Epithelium is one of the four basic tissues of the body, along with the connective tissue, muscular tissue, and the nervous tissue. So it consists of the collection of the cells which are of the similar type, and they together with their associated extracellular substance or they perform the specialized function or functions. The epithelial tissue they covers the whole surface of the body and made up of the cells which are closely packed with each other. And the tissues they are specialized to form the covering epithelia or they line the internal surfaces of the body. So epithelial tissue which lines the internal surfaces or the interior of the hollow tubes or like the gut, it is called the endothelium. So the characteristic feature of the epithelial tissue is that the cells they are tightly packed with each other with little or no intercellular spaces in between them, and a small amount or a very little amount of the intercellular substance is present. So regardless of their type, they are separated from the underlying tissue by a thin sheet of the connective tissue, which is called the basement membrane. So all the epithelial tissue or of the cells, they will always rest on the basement membrane. So the basement membrane is responsible for providing the structural support for the epithelial cells, and it also binds cells to their neighboring structures. So embryologically, there are three germ layers, the ectoderm, the mesoderm, and the endoderm. So epithelial tissue or the epithelium, it arises from the surface ectoderm and it gives rise to the various skin and its appendages and the other structures of the covering epithelia and the internal epithelia also. So it is derived from the surface ectoderm. So there are certain characteristics of the epithelial tissue that it consists of only the cells. So epithelial tissue consists of only entirely of the cells, which may be made up of the single layer of the cells or the multiple layer of the cells, but it consists of the cells only. So it covers the body surfaces and lines the hollow organs also, and also forms the glands. So outside the surface of the body, so lining of the GIT tract, respiratory and the genital systems, the heart and the blood vessels, and also the many body cavities. So epithelial tissue, they exert their polarity because of their three domains, that is the apical domain, the basal domain, and the lateral domain, which we'll discuss later on. So all the epithelial tissue or the epithelial cells, they always rest on a basement membrane, and the basement membrane, it anchors it to the underlying connective tissue also. So they always have to rest on a basement membrane. Now, another very important feature of the epithelial tissue is that it is avascular. So that is, it has no blood vessels. So it will derive its nutrition from the underlying connective tissue, which is a highly vascular tissue, and the nervous tissue, nervous, nervous cells, they are also present here. So it will derive its nutrition from the underlying connective tissue. The epithelial cells, they have a great ability to regenerate and they can replace the lost cells by the cell division. Now you can see this in this diagram that these epithelial tissue, they are showing their polarity because of their three domains. That is, they have an apical domain, and this apical domain is modified to have the cilia or the stereocilia or the microvilli structures, And the lateral domain, it forms the cell junctions with the other cells when it can come in contact with the other cells. And we have already discussed the different types of the cell junctions. And the basal domain, it will always be resting over the basement membrane, which anchors it to the underlying connective tissue. Now you can see here that the underlying connective tissue, so this basement membrane, which has two layers, the basal lamina and the reticular layer, which we will discuss later. So the underlying connective tissue is highly vascular and it has the nerve endings. So the nutrition will be derived from the process of the diffusion from the underlying connective tissue, and so itself the epithelial tissue, it is avascular, and also the nerve endings, they are present here, and so it becomes the nervous receptors, they are present in between these epithelial cells, and the free nerve endings, they are present here. So epithelial tissue consists of the cells only, which are tightly adherent with each other with little or no intercellular space. They will be always be resting over the basement membrane, and they have the three domains: the apical domain, the basal domain, and the lateral domain. So the apical domain is modified to form the cilia, stereocilia, or the microvilli structures. The lateral domain will form the cell junctions, and the basal domain is resting over the basement membrane, which anchors it to the underlying connective tissue. Now, there are various functions of the epithelial tissue in general, and there are also the specialized functions of each epithelia according to their location in the body. So, epithelial tissue, they provides the protection. So this, like the skin, it protects the underlying tissue from the mechanical injury, the harmful chemicals, UV radiations, and invading bacteria, excessive water loss. So the basic function of the skin is to protect the underlying tissues. So the epithelial tissue, they are keratinized here to form an extra layer which gives the protection against the harmful chemicals and the invading bacteria. Then the sensations. There are sensory stimuli which are penetrated in the epithelial, specialized epithelial cells, and there are specialized epithelial tissue which contain the sensory nerve endings, and they are found in the skin, eyes, ear, nose, and the tongue. So it provides the special senses in the area also, and also the general sensations. Then the secretion in the glandular epithelium, it provides the secretory epithelium also. So epithelial tissue is specialized to secrete the specific chemical substances such as the enzyme, hormones, and the lubricating fluids. Then is the absorption. So certain epithelial cells, they line the small intestine and they have the surface modifications like the microvilli, and they will absorb the nutrients from the digestion of the food. Then excretion. So epithelial tissues in the kidney, they excrete the waste products from the body and reabsorb the needed material from the urine. So sweat is also excreted from the body by the epithelial cells in the sweat glands. Then the diffusion, the simple epithelium, it promotes the diffusion of the gases, the liquids, and the nutrients because they form such a thin lining that they are ideal for the diffusion of gases. So, example, the walls of the capillaries and the lungs. Then the ciliated epithelium, it is responsible for removing the dust particles and the foreign bodies which have entered into the air passages. So it can protect the air passages also. So reduce the friction. So with the smooth and tightly interlocking epithelial cells that line the entire circulatory system, they reduce the friction between the blood and the walls of the blood vessels. So they are the general functions of the epithelial tissue, and in particular, each variety of the epithelial tissue, they have the certain particular functions according to their location. So how do we classify the epithelial tissue? So we classify according to the number of the layers of the cells. So if there is a single layer of the cell, then we call the epithelium as a simple epithelium. And if there are more than one layer, then we call it a stratified epithelium. So there is also another variety, which is the pseudostratified. That is, the tissue gives the false appearance of being stratified, but actually they are of the single layer. So they are categorized in another variety, that is the pseudostratified. So according to the number of the layers, if there is a single layer, we call it a simple epithelium. And if there are more than one layers, we call it a stratified epithelium. Then according to the shape of the cells. So according to the shape of the cells, there are three types of these shapes of the cells: the squamous or the flat or the scale-like cells, and the cuboidal or the cube-like cells, which have the same height and the width, and the column-like cells or the columnar, which are the taller than the wide. So according to the number of the layers, we have the simple epithelia or the stratified epithelia if more than one layers. And then according to the shape, we can have the simple squamous, we can have the simple cuboidal or the simple columnar. Or we can have the stratified squamous or stratified cuboidal or columnar, which we will discuss later on. So you can see here the different shapes of the cells, that is the squamous cells or the flat cells, which will have these the simple thin layer epithelium of a single layer cells and a flattened nuclei. Then the cuboidal cells, which are cube-like, that is they have the same height and the same width. And then is the columnar cells, which have the height is more than the width, so they appear like column like, so they are called the columnar cells. So we covered is classify the epithelium, which is one of the basic tissues of the body, and into broadly first into the surface epithelium or the glandular epithelium. So the glandular epithelium, which we have the separate lecture and we'll discuss later on. So in this lecture, we'll discuss only the surface epithelium. Now, the surface epithelium, as we have discussed, that if it is made up of the single layer of the cells, then we call it a simple epithelium. Now, if we have a single layer of the cells, we call it a simple epithelium. And according to the shape of the cells, if the shape is squamous, then epithelial cells, they are of single layer and they are of the squamous epithelium, then we call it a simple squamous epithelium. And if the shape of the cells is cuboidal and the epithelium consists of only a single layer of cells, we call it a simple cuboidal epithelium. And then we have a variety, that is the simple columnar epithelium. So according to the shape of the cells and according to the number of the layers of the cells, we have the simple squamous epithelium, the simple cuboidal epithelium, and the simple columnar epithelium. So then if we have the two or more layers, then we call it a stratified epithelium. And similarly, if the surface layer is the squamous, then we call it a stratified squamous epithelium if it consists of two or more layers. And the surface epithelium, that is the outermost or the surface most layer, is of the squamous type, then we call it a stratified squamous epithelium. So likewise, we have three varieties in the stratified, that is the stratified squamous epithelium, stratified cuboidal epithelium, and stratified columnar epithelium. Now, in the case of the stratified, the surface layer is the shape of the surface layer of the cells gives its nomenclature. That is, if the surface layer is cuboidal, we call it stratified cuboidal, and if the surface layer is columnar, we call it a stratified columnar. So the pseudostratified epithelium, it comes in between, which is the pseudostratified columnar epithelium, and it has a special variety because it does not come into the simple epithelium and it also not in the stratified and gives a false appearance of the being stratified. Now, the transitional epithelium is a variety of the stratified epithelium. We'll discuss this transitional epithelium in the stratified variety. Then there are certain special epithelia, that is the sensory epithelium, which is performing the specialized functions. So, like the layers of the sensory and supportive cells in the retina, internal ear, olfactory mucosa, and the taste buds. So this is the diagrammatic representation of the various types of the epithelia. So now you can see here the simple squamous epithelium, the simple cuboidal epithelium, the simple columnar epithelium, which can be ciliated or which can be non-ciliated. And these are the stratified squamous, stratified cuboidal, and the stratified columnar, as the surface epithelium is the columnar shaped cells, and here is the cuboidal shaped cells, and the surface is the squamous cells. Now, according to the particular epithelia and location, they have the certain functions. Like the simple squamous epithelium, it lines the lungs and the blood vessels, the lymphatic vessels. So it allows the material to passes through by the diffusion. So it consists of the single layer. So it will be also lining the alveoli of the lungs. So where the minimum layer is required for the process of the diffusion and filtration, so it lines those areas. So it has particularly those functions in the simple squamous epithelium. Then the simple cuboidal epithelium, it lines the ducts and the secretory portions of the small glands, and also the proximal convoluted tubules of the kidneys and the distal tubules of the kidneys. So its main function is to secrete and absorb. Then the ciliated columnar epithelium, which consists of the ciliated tissues, they will lining the uterine tubes, and also the non-ciliated columnar epithelium, it will line the stomach or the GI portions also. So main function is to absorb, and it also secretes the mucus and the enzymes. Then the pseudostratified epithelium, it will lines the respiratory tract, and it will secrete the mucus and also move the cilia. They will trap the foreign particles. Then the stratified epithelia, it is more for the protection against the aberrations. So it will lines the esophagus, the oral cavity, and the vagina. The stratified cuboidal epithelium, it lines the sweat glands, the salivary glands, and the mammary glands. And the stratified columnar, it lines the male urethra and the ducts of the some of the glands. It also provides with the protection and also the secretions. Now, the transitional epithelium is also a special type of the epithelium which lines the urinary tract or the bladder and the urethra, and it also called the urothelium. We'll discuss later on, and it has these certain characteristic features of the distensibility also. So we'll discuss it separately. So we'll discuss each variety of the epithelial tissue and their functions and their characteristic features one by one. Now, the first is squamous epithelium, which is also called the pavement epithelium or the flat epithelium, and it is consist of the flat squamous cells which have the appearance of thin flat plates, and the shape of the nucleus is also flattened and elongated, and the central single nucleus and forms for example, the horizontal flanked epithelial nuclei, and they have formed the thin flattened form of the cells. So they will form the lining of the cavities, such as the blood vessels, the heart, and the lungs, and they make up the outer layer of the skin also. Now you can see the photomicrograph of the simple epithelial. This is the photomicrograph of the lung tissue. These are the alveoli of the lung, and these simple squamous epithelial cells, they are lining the lung alveoli, and because of their thin appearance, the simple diffusion process can take place, the transport of the oxygen and the carbon dioxide can take place easily from these thin epithelia. Now, this is the renal corpuscle of the kidney, in which these Bowman's capsules, the outer layer is lined with the simple squamous epithelium. Now, this is the simple cuboidal epithelium, which is lining the ducts. And this is the simple columnar epithelium, which are showing you the column-like cells. So, simple cuboidal epithelium, as the name implies, is consists of the cuboidal shaped cells, roughly square or cuboidal in shape, and they have a spherical nucleus in the center. So, cuboidal epithelium, it is found in the glands and in the lining of the kidney tubules as well as in the. Now, the simple columnar epithelium, it consists of the column-like cells which have these more height than the width, and they have the elongated nucleus which is towards the basal surface. So the nuclei, they are towards the base more. So they forms the lining of the stomach and the intestines, and the some columnar cells, they are specialized for the sensory receptions such as the nose, ears, and the taste buds of the tongue. And the goblet cells, they are also found between the columnar cells, epithelial cells of the duodenum, and they secrete the mucus or slime and lubricate the substances, uh, uh, which keeps the surface smooth. Now you can see here the lumen of the different types of the epithelia. So this is the simple squamous epithelium, and this is lined by the simple flat epithelial cells, and this is the cuboidal epithelium cells, and these are the columnar ciliated epithelia. Now another photomicrograph showing you the simple squamous epithelia of the lung alveoli, and this is also called the pavement epithelium, and its functions is to allow the passage of the materials by the diffusion, filtration, and protects the important organs. It also forms the mesothelium. Now this is the simple cuboidal epithelium, another again for your reinforcement, that is, it lines the kidney tubules, ducts, and the major portions of the small glands, and function is to secretion and the absorption. Another view of the simple cuboidal epithelium. So you can see here the centrally placed equidistant nuclei, and you can easily identify the simple cuboidal epithelium. So this is the simple columnar epithelium. Now you can see here the few of the goblet cells, they are also present between them. So they are a non-ciliated type which lines the stomach and the anal canal, gallbladder also. Now this is the simple columnar epithelium with the cilia. So they have the ciliated columnar epithelium. It will lines the intestines, and they have the major functions of the spreading the mucus also. Now, the pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium, it is a special type of the epithelium in which the cells, they will resting on the single basement membrane, and all the cells, they will be resting on the basement membrane, but all the cells, they do not reach the apical surface. So it is gives a false appearance of being stratified. Actually, it is consists of the single layer, and the level of the nuclei, it is different, so therefore it gives a false appearance of the being stratified. So it is located in the respiratory tract of upper respiratory tract, and it is also there called the respiratory epithelium. So we'll discuss this pseudostratified epithelium also again in the next lecture. So this is also the diagrammatic representation. Now you can see it has the different type of the cells, the tall columnar cells, the ciliated tall columnar cells, the short basal cells, which are resting on the basement membrane. And so all the cells, they will resting on the basement membrane, but all they will not reach into the apical surface. So we'll discuss this epithelium pseudostratified in the next lecture also. Thank you.